Okay, so you want to buy a Tesla Model X. You've seen the Falcon Wing doors open in a parking lot, and watched three strangers pull out their phones. You've done the math on gas savings. You've seen the horsepower numbers, and you've decided this is the car that finally makes sense. And you're not entirely wrong. Electric SUVs are one of the fastest growing categories in the entire auto industry. There is just one problem. Tesla isn't really selling you a car. It's selling you the fastest depreciating luxury asset you will ever park in your driveway. And by the time you understand that, you've already signed the loan. Here's the thesis, and everything below just proves it. Tesla captures almost all of the value the day you buy the car. You, the owner, capture almost all of the risk every day after that. The company gets paid once, up front, in full. You get billed slowly, for years, in ways the sticker price never mentioned. Let's go villain by villain, because there isn't just one hidden cost here. There are 6, and each one shows up at a different point in your ownership, like a bill that keeps finding your mailbox, no matter how many times you move. This isn't a small purchase you shrug off if the math doesn't work. For most buyers, a Model X is the second biggest thing they'll ever finance, right behind a house, and unlike a house, it's guaranteed to be worth less every single year you own it. There is no 30-year mortgage, here building equity while you sleep. There is a 5 or 6-year loan on an asset actively working against you, and the bank collecting interest on a number that's shrinking in real time. Most buyers know a car loses value. Almost none of them do the math on how fast, or where all 6 of those losses actually land. Say you want a 2026 Model X Standard, all-wheel drive 5 seats, the one most people actually drive off the lot. The base price is $93,880. That number climbed $5,000 this year alone. Want the Plaid, the version with 3 motors and 1,020 horsepower, the one that hits 60 inches too. 5 seconds. That's $106,380 before a single option. Add the bigger wheels, the premium interior, the tow package, and you're past $115,000. That's the number Tesla collects. Write it down. Everything from here forward is the number you collect instead. In reverse, hidden cost number 1. Depreciation. The instant you drive off the lot, the car starts losing value faster than almost anything else on the road. Multiple studies have placed first-year EV depreciation at 20 to 30%, worse than the industry average for gasoline vehicles. On a $100,000 Model X, that's $20,000 to dollars. $30,000 gone before your first loan anniversary. Tesla already has your money. This loss is entirely yours. And it gets worse, depending on how you sell. Trade it in at a dealer, and you'll typically eat an extra 10 to 15% below what a private sale would bring, because the dealer needs their own margin before they resell it. Sell it privately instead, and you save that margin, but you take on the paperwork, the test drives with strangers, and the negotiating, all to recover value that was yours the day you signed. Either way, the car is worth less than the number in your head, and it was worth less the moment you drove it off the lot, not the moment you decided to sell. Hidden cost number 2. Insurance. Comprehensive coverage on a Model X regularly runs $3,000 to $4,500 a year, well above what a comparable gasoline SUV costs to insure. Why? Because insurers know exactly what a Falcon Wing door assembly costs to replace after a fender bender, and it isn't cheap. Rates also climb depending on where you live and how you drive. And Tesla's own insurance product, sold directly through the app in select states, prices premiums using real-time driving data pulled from the car itself. Hard braking, late-night driving, aggressive acceleration, all of it can move your monthly rate up or down. It sounds convenient, until you realize the same company that sold you the car is now watching how you drive it, and pricing you accordingly, in real time, with numbers you can't independently verify. Hidden cost number 3. The doors themselves. The single most iconic thing about this car, the thing that sells it in the parking lot, is also its biggest mechanical liability. A gasoline sub-E door is a stamped piece of metal on a hinge. A Model X door is a hydraulic sensor-laden mechanism with its own computer. Owners and repair shops have reported sensor faults, alignment issues, and seal failures that simply don't exist on a normal car door, and a single Falcon Wing repair outside of warranty can run into 5 figures. Picture the ordinary version of this. A shopping cart drifts 2 spaces over and taps the door while it's open. On a normal SUV, That's a $400 dent repair. On a Model X, if it knocks the hydraulic mechanism out of alignment, that's a sensor recalibration, sometimes a full ram and hinge assembly replacement, and a car that sits in the shop for weeks waiting on a part that isn't sitting on a shelf at the corner body shop. The door that made you fall in love with the car in the parking lot is the same door that can turn a fender bender into a four-figure invoice. Hidden cost number 4. The battery. Tesla's drivetrain warranty covers you for 8 years. After that, you own the degradation curve outright. Real-world fleet data suggests batteries typically retain somewhere around 85 to 90% of original capacity at the 100,000 to 200,000 mile mark. Which sounds fine, until you're the one shopping for a replacement pack. And quotes have run anywhere from $13,000 to over $20,000. On a car that's already lost a third of its value, a bill like that can exceed what the car is worth. Hidden cost number 5. Tesla's own pricing decisions. Tesla can cut prices on new inventory whenever it wants, and it has repeatedly, over the past several years. Every time it does, every used Model X on every resale lot instantly becomes less valuable, overnight, with zero notice, and zero compensation to the person who already bought one. You don't get a vote. You just get a smaller number when you go to sell, and it's not just the hardware Tesla controls the price of. In February 2026, Tesla eliminated the one-time purchase option for full self-driving entirely. What used to be an $8,000 upfront feature, something you bought once and owned, is now a $1.99 a month subscription, and Musk has said publicly that the price is going up as the software improves. The car you already paid for is now renting you back a feature it used to sell outright, and the rent can rise on a timeline you don't set. For a feature you don't get a vote on either. Hidden cost number 6. Discontinuation. In early 2026, Tesla announced it's retiring the Model X entirely, shifting focus to newer platforms. Every Model X sold this year is the final chapter of a nameplate. In the short term, that scarcity pushed 2026 prices up. In the long term, it means every Model X on the road is now a car with no future models to anchor resale value, no next generation to make this one look current, and a shrinking service and parts pipeline as Tesla's attention moves elsewhere. The brand isn't retiring a product. It's quietly retiring your asset's relevance, while you're still making payments on it. Charging isn't free either, even though it feels that way compared to a gas pump. Home charging is cheap, but supercharger sessions on a road trip run closer to the price of mid-grade gasoline once you account for the Model X's size and weight, and tires wear down faster than on a comparable gas SUV, because instant torque and an extra few hundred pounds of battery chew through rubber. Owners routinely report replacing tires every 20,000 to 25,000 miles instead of the 40,000 to 50,000 miles you'd expect on a lighter vehicle, and a full set of the specialized tires this car needs can run $1,200 to $1,800. It's a small cost next to a battery replacement, but it's a cost that shows up every year, without fail, whether you asked for it or not. Add it all up. Financing, insurance, depreciation, doors, battery, maintenance, tires, which wear faster on EVs because of instant torque and added weight, and the true 5-year cost of owning a Model X regularly lands somewhere between $70,000 and $90,000. On top of the purchase price, before you've resold it for a fraction of what you paid. Here's the number that makes the thesis real. Tesla sold a $100,000 car once. The owner may spend another $80,000 over the next 5 years keeping it on the road, and absorb tens of thousands more in lost value on the way out. Tesla's side of that ledger closed the day you signed. Yours just opened, and Tesla isn't carrying any of that risk with you. The company already booked the revenue. It doesn't lose sleep over your resale value, your insurance premium, or your battery's 10th-year capacity. It already has your money, and its attention, along with its engineering budget and marketing dollars, has already turned toward whatever platform comes next. This is the same instinct that runs through every business that sells you a depreciating dream. Someone captures the value on day one, someone else carries the risk for the next decade, and the two people are never the same person. You've seen this shape before, even if you didn't recognize it. A hotel brand collects a royalty on every room sold, whether the property turns a profit or not, while the owner absorbs the renovation bills and the empty weeks. A software company sells you a subscription and stops caring the moment your card is charged. A car company is no different. It just wears a more exciting outfit. The badge changes. The mechanism doesn't. Whoever sells you the asset gets paid on delivery. Whoever holds the asset gets billed on delay. One repair, one renewal, one depreciation curve at a time. And yet, people do make money around Teslas. Real money, just not the way the person buying new imagines. Meet Alex. Not a specific person, an archetype, because the used EV market has quietly rewarded this exact move for years. 18 months ago, a first owner drove a Model X off the lot for $100,000. Today that same car is worth, roughly $62,000. The first owner lost $38,000 doing nothing wrong except signing first. Alex bought that same car for $62,000, skipped the steepest year of the depreciation curve entirely, negotiated hard because a used Tesla has no franchise brand propping up its price, the way a used hotel does, bought the extended service plan while it still existed, and skipped the plaid trim and the biggest wheels. Because bigger wheels mean more tire replacements, and worse range. One car, two outcomes. The first owner funded the depreciation cliff. Alex bought the car after someone else had already paid for the fall. Alex also did one more thing most new buyers never think to do. Budgeted for the battery before it was a problem. Because the car was already past its steepest depreciation, Alex financed less, paid it off faster, and put the monthly difference into a separate account earmarked for whatever the 8-year warranty doesn't cover. It's not glamorous. Nobody films a parking lot reaction video over a savings account. But it's the difference between the battery bill being a crisis and the battery bill being a line item. The first owner bought the story. Alex bought the spreadsheet. So, let's close the loop. You buy a 2026 Model X for roughly $100,000. Within 12 months, it's worth $62,000 to $75,000 on paper. Whether you drive it or not, over 5 years, you'll spend another $70,000 to $90,000, keeping it on the road on top of whatever you already lost in value. When you finally sell it, the next buyer will run the exact same math you should have run on day one, and that math will suppress what they're willing to pay you. Meanwhile, Tesla has already moved on. The Model X nameplate is being retired. The factory lines are shifting to newer platforms. And the company doesn't need your car to hold its value. It already got paid. None of this makes the Model X a bad car. It's one of the fastest, most capable SUVs ever put into production, and for the people who can absorb the math, it delivers exactly what it promises. But absorbing the math is the whole point. This isn't a story about a bad product. It's a story about who was always going to carry the risk, and it was decided before you ever sat in the driver's seat, back when the only thing that mattered was getting your signature on the order. The Falcon Wing doors still open in the parking lot. Strangers still pull out their phones. That feeling, the one that made you want this car in the first place, is real, and nobody can depreciate it out of you. But the doors belong to you now. The depreciation belongs to you. The battery belongs to you. The repair bills belong to you. Tesla kept the only part it ever wanted, the sale, and that, it turns out, is the entire business model, wrapped in 1020 horsepower, and painted to look like an investment. Every industry has a version of this moment, the one where you finally see who the deal was actually built for. The hotel owner sees it the first time a brand sends a mandatory renovation bill on a property they thought they owned outright. The Model X owner sees it the first time a door sensor throws an error, or a price cut lands on the exact car sitting in their driveway, or a software feature they used to own outright shows up as a monthly charge. The asset was never the point. The transaction was. And once you can see that shape, in a hotel, in a car, in almost anything sold to you as an investment, you start noticing it everywhere else too.